And you can put Nick Castellanos down in the book of moments in Philadelphia sports lore. He's up there. I don't know if it's Jimmy Rollins in 2009, but what we just witnessed was pretty darn special. Phillies take it 7-6, Game 3, Tuesday night. Maybe the series doesn't come back to Philadelphia. You ever think of that? Ricky Metallico, Ruben Amaro
Getting crazy,
Jr.
Michael.
I'm Michael Bark. Hey, anything's possible in sports. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. That was absolutely a ball game. That was as great as we've seen around here in quite some time, Ricky Bo.
It was out of control. I mean, to be honest, tale of two games again. Phillies get down early. You're watching the Mets kind of tee up a little bit. They're up 3-0, and then all of a sudden, the Bryce Harper moment. He always has a moment. Every single year he's going to have one of these, bedlam at the bank type moments. And he comes up, and he crushes a fastball off of Severino to center field. And that turned the tides. And I'm in firm belief right now. I thought Severino was starting to flatten out against Trey Turner before that. And I thought to myself, if he doesn't take him out here, I know this guy's going to do some damage, but how many other guys are? And then Nicky C. No more Nicky singles.
Absolutely
Nicky C. crushing the ball today.
And he went from being booed, and you know he did, by the Philadelphia Phillies faithful at the ballpark. 45,679 let him hear it when he made out earlier in the game. Ruben, he certainly had his vindication in the final at-bat.
He certainly did. There's no question about it, Michael. And this is the kind of guy he is. He really, he was probably upset at the fans. It was obvious that he was upset at the fans. Took a shot at him because they were booing him. But he comes back and does unbelievable damage. Huge home run after Harper's, and then the huge base hit at the end. And really, it's always about the big boys at the end of the day. If they can come through, then I think it loosens everybody else up. Let's think about what Bryson Stott did, that big triple. I mean, that was a huge base hit in that situation as well. And I think what Bryce Harper did with that home run, I think it sort of like let everybody exhale. Okay, we're all right. We're going to be fine. And then, I mean, I think it loosens guys up a little bit and allows them to go ahead and play baseball. There is nothing like postseason baseball. There's nothing like postseason baseball in Citizens Bank Park.
Nothing.
And boy, did this game deliver, man. It was awesome.
I'll tell you what, after Harper hit that home run, and you're right in a sense that it loosens up the Phillies team, what did it do to the Mets? It puckered them.
Yeah.
Those guys wanted
That's
no
a technical
part.
term.
Yes, no, go ahead, take a look. They wanted no part of Bryce Harper the rest of the way.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what? You're scared.
That said.
Once you become scared out there, you're in big trouble.
That said, they didn't stop coming. I mean, for Vientos to come up with that monster home run on a pitch was basically eye high. I mean, you got to give him some love for that. I mean, these guys, they're not going to stop. The way they've been playing, the way they've been scoring runs late in the games. I mean, I don't know what their OPS is in the 8th and 9th inning over the last several games, but my goodness, they're not going to stop. But it's really a gutsy game. Super resilience. We talked about it before the game today. This is a very resilient Philadelphia Phillies ball club. They showed some resilience today. They were down, dead in the water, and they came back and won this ball game, and they're taking it back to Mets.
I'll tell you what, if all these games are like this, I'm going to need some time off.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Because this is, I mean, this game, a 7-6 game, a 7-6 game, up and down, back and forth, in and out. I mean, how many different emotions did you have going through this game? This was crazy. It was crazy.
It was absolutely amazing. And the other thing that set this thing up, the crowd, and you know, Ruben, because you grew up here, the crowd was a little bit tame. The Phillies had fallen behind, and Harper crossed home plate after he hit that home run to pull within 3-2, and he went, "Let's go!" And the crowd responded. Castellanos ties it up, and then they had to come back yet again. Speaking of Nick Castellanos, here he is, post-game, on the field with Taryn Hatcher.
All right, Nick, I know you guys wanted to put up some more runs today and help your defense out to get the second of the back-to-backs, to get the walk-offs, to get to go celebrate with your son. I mean, what does this moment even feel like for you right now?
It's a lot of fun, honestly. It's unbelievable. To try and describe it is, kind of pointless, but, I'm sure I'm going to be able to hold on to this forever.
What did you say to Liam? I have to ask him.
I'm going to be better. I'm not going to curse, but I just said, let's go.
I mean, it's hard to go backwards in this game because it feels like so many things happen. But when Bryce hit that home run and you step into the batter's box and immediately blast one as well, what was going through your mind before you took that swing?
Honestly, nothing really. I just think Bryce was the first domino to fall, just to kind of get the floodgates to open up. And, I was just happy that I was able to follow suit.
How much pressure feels alleviated now that, you guys had a game where you had to battle back the entire game and you were able to come out on top?
It feels great, but as cliche as this is, we need to turn the page because we're still in a fight. These guys are a really good team, and they have just as much fight as we do. So, game 3 and 4 in New York is going to be challenging, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Nick, congratulations, and we'll see you for game 3 in New York.
Thank you.
This Nick Castellanos talking to Taryn Hatcher, and when you look at what he did, this will be remembered for a long time. It will be the catalyst if the Phillies are to win this series, come from behind and win it. And we had our doubts before today's game began. This will be the catalyst, the catalytic moment for the Phils. Let's take a look at the 9th inning. Ricky and Ruben, take a look at what happened here. Trey Turner works a walk as Tyler McGill is on the mound for the New York Mets. And that's a good sign after Austin Hayes struck out swinging.
And that's the thing that Trey Turner has to do. And he did it at the most critical moment. He's got to lay off that slider away, and just a super at bat.
And then Harper just misses.
Now, here's the thing. You're putting yourself in harm's way here. You got a runner on first base. Harper's up. I know he tried expanding the zone on Harper. I think it was a little chickenish. You know what? Go after somebody on the corner, see what happens. But, you end up walking Harper, and then you leave a garbage pitch right. You know what? Nick did exactly what he was supposed to do with that pitch. I will tell you that much.
Nice and easy stroke. Went and got it and took it to left.
So I got to say something about Castellanos. He does not get affected by big moments. He's got that mentality where he stays calm and stays relaxed. And again, this is a mistake pitch. There's no question about it. Would he have chased the ball in the dirt? Maybe. But that said, he does stay pretty calm in these situations, and he has that mentality of, listen, I'm going to relax. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to step back. I'm going to breathe a little bit and get the job done. And that's exactly what he did. That is as big a base hit.
Why would you throw him a middle-in slider? It's beyond me.
Well, I'm sure he was trying to bounce that ball. There's no question.
Bounce it? Wasn't even close.
Castellanos bounced
backed up
into the left field corner.
It's tight. It's the postseason, baby. It's tough.
I hope, I don't know if we can do this, but I hope we can cut Nick Castellanos' face. It was a close-up as he stepped into the box, because you talked about the big moments and he seems unfazed. He did need to steady himself, I couldn't have done it. You guys could have, but he took a couple of real deep breaths as if to recognize the moment and steady himself.
Well,
that's what a veteran does. That's what the veteran guys do. They can slow down the moment, and for him to have done that, man, that's huge.
You look at that at bat. The first pitch was a ball. He swings and misses on it, and then you're thinking to yourself, all right, now, okay, he's going to expand the zone to the outside. He's probably sitting there going, wow, did I get a pitch that I could handle? And it was a hang and break ball middle in. Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
One of the things that the Phillies do among the best is hit with 2 outs. When the chips are down and Clemens had flied out, Schwarber had grounded out in the bottom of the 6th, and here comes Trey Turner once again to the plate, and he takes it, and he gets on base with a single. Left side.
By the way, again, another hanging breaker on the inside part of the plate.
And that's what these guys do. If they can capitalize on mistakes, then they're going to be fine. And if they have to have the patience to get to that point so that the pitcher can make a mistake.
And then Bryce Harper steps to the plate, and there was no doubt about that one. You heard the swell of the crowd, the noise just go crazy, and he sends it into the
I want you to think about
field.
this. 4 of the big hits in this ball game. You had the Turner hit before the home run by Harper right there. Then you had the Harper homer. Then you had the Castellanos homer right after that. And then you go as far as Castellanos in the 9th inning getting the hang and break ball for the hit also. Look at every one of those pitches was a mistake. How many times do you see mistakes getting hit all the time? Rarely happens. This is one of those games where there were a bunch of mistakes by the Mets, and the Phillies took advantage of just really bad pitches.
The other thing is, we should note that Harper found, maybe with that home run, his power stroke, which has been up and down this season because of injury. It's good to see him do that to the deepest part of the ballpark.
And it's also, I mean, he's the greatest showman. I mean, it's as simple as that. This guy's red light. I mean, I think those 4 or 5 days, I think they really helped him. I think that's great for his elbow. I know when he was swinging through some pitches, it was bothering him at the end of the year. There's no question about it. I think the 4 or 5 days that they got off, that was big for him. And I am not surprised in the slightest that he was the guy to catalyze this team, because he is the man when it comes to getting big base hits. He's done it time and time and time again. And again, it's been a pleasure to watch this guy come through in the greatest moments, and he really picked this team up.
Also, when you look at hits versus at-bats, don't forget the walks. And Bryce Harper is on base 3 times today. He has 1 hit, only 1 hit, only a 2-run home run, but he's on base 2 other times via walk.
Because he becomes this iconic thing when he's on the field, and especially after he hits that home run. I mean, are you going to pitch to him at that point? Probably not. What you're going to try to do is get around him, and then hopefully you beat a guy like Nick Castellanos. But the problem is when you have flat pitches, Nick Castellanos will hit that ball. If you have pitches that are sharp and maybe look like a good pitch and turn into garbage afterwards, you can get away with that with Nick. But when you're over the plate with him, you're in trouble. And I think when I look at this is what I was talking about the other day. You look at the Mets bullpen. Diaz has not looked good against the Phillies in a while. I mean, he may have had 1 game here or there where he may have thrown the ball well, but I can't remember it. McGill doesn't scare me. Budo looked awful. I mean, that looked like somebody who didn't really want to be out there but had to be out there. But, I mean, the one thing here is that the Phillies own their bullpen.
Yeah. Also, remember, the Mets retook the lead going into the bottom of the 8th. The Mets retook the lead in the 7th, and the Phillies trailed 4-3. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th. Phillies trailing 4-3. Trey Turner strikes out, and then Harper comes to the plate. And Harper, this is against Edwin Diaz. None of that today. And here is Harper working the walk.
And you talked about the walks. This has got to. I mean, the rest of the team has to understand that this isn't as important and bad as it gets. Nice piece of hitting here by Castellanos for them to go first to third here. But the fact that Bryce Harper had the patience to pass the baton to the next guy, that is huge. You talked about it, those 2 walks, Michael, and they were gigantic. And, I mean, this guy, Bryson Stott, he's been struggling. But he puts on a great swing on another hanging slider that stays in the middle of the plate, thankfully, and he smokes this ball down the right field line for a triple, and that is as big a base hit as he's had since that home run in the playoffs last year.
Also, I think we have to acknowledge the base running, starting with Bryce Harper, and there's the Stott triple again, because not only does Harper score, Castellanos is trucking it too, and he comes around third to score, and that was a huge moment. And when you look at Harper, Harper's looking over his shoulder on the hit from Castellanos, and Harper's basically running with the pitch. He had a big lead. He thought about going back to first, but he kept going, got to third base. Here's JT, and then Vientos.
Mark Vientos, by the way, he can hit. That Vientos can hit, can he?
Sure can.
I have to say
Fields
this.
is a different story.
I got to say this. That at-bat by Real Muto is gigantic. You've got to put the ball in play. So important for them just to touch the baseball. You never know what's going to happen. Stott was going on ground ball contact. I think it would have been safe anyway on that play. Vientos is not a very good defender, but it puts the pressure on the defense, and for him to have just put the ball in play is huge for them to go up 2 runs in that situation.
So the Phillies go 4-3 down to 6-4 up, and then they would tie it again. After the Mets tied it, they go up 6-4 and then hold on. It's
this looked like the game that was never going to end for a little while. But you know what? In all honesty, you got to give both teams credit. Both teams kept clawing back. The bullpens kept giving it up. And, man, Phillies, had the last at-bats. That's what it was in this game. You had the last at-bats at home. You had a big hit there by Nick Castellanos. And, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, there was a lot of fighting going on in this game.
Heavyweight battle, man. Heavyweight. They were throwing haymakers, and you got to give the Mets a lot of credit, man. They have a ton of fight in them. The fact that the Phillies did not bend, or they did not break. They did bend a little bit, but they did not break. And fortunately, they came up with the big base hit to finish it off.
All right, let's go to the clubhouse now. The showman himself, Bryce Harper, postgame.
Bryce, just talk about the guys, the resolve you guys showed tonight, time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, I thought both teams, man, punch for punch. I said it to the guys. I said Rocky would be proud. You know, never die mentality, man. Just a great game. Thought Sevy threw the ball really well, obviously. But being able to kind of get a couple runs on and just keep that going. Vientos won the bat well. But, you know, punch for punch, man. Came back, won that game. Big at bat by Starter. Happy birthday to him. And then obviously CASTY coming through. Just huge.
Was the approach better this time around, like for your team, in terms of what you wanted to do as a unit?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just got to understand swinging at strikes, understanding that we control the zone, us against the ball, and just try to keep going.
Was your feeling, Bryce, that once the runs started to come, they would come in bunches like they did?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're able to have good at-bats, obviously sometimes it doesn't go your way, but when you string together at-bats one by one, I thought the whole lineup, you know, did a great job, and big at-bats by a lot of guys.
Was that about as loud as you've ever heard it when you were driving around the base?
Yeah, that was sick. Best fan base in the world, man. They continue to fight for us, and we continue to fight for them. We're not just playing for the 25 guys in here. Obviously, we're playing for the 45 out there as well. So, just really cool.
How do you feel for Nick in a game like this? In the fourth inning, he gets boos, he gets some Bronx cheers after swinging at a couple bad balls, and then game-tying homer, scores a go-ahead run in the eighth, gets the walk-off.
He's a stud, man. He continues to fight and work, and he's understanding what he needs to do, his swing, everything. So, like I said, just big at-bats by everybody tonight. I thought Trey had a really good at-bat tonight, or some really good at-bats. Bryson, obviously, Cody Clemens. I mean, 1 through 9.
Nick has 5 walk-offs this year. What do you think makes him so good in those moments?
No heartbeat, man. He just goes up there and plays his game. He's been doing it for a long time. Obviously, you know, in the big leagues, but also, you know, youth ball and things like that. So, no moment's too big.
With the split, do you think some momentum has come back to your side a little bit as a team?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're able to go 1-1, obviously you want to go 2 at home. But, you know, being able to go 1-1, going into New York, I imagine it's going to be pretty hostile there and a lot of fun. So, really looking forward to that.
It's a little different, though, because usually you're 1-1 coming back here in previous years, and now you're going on the road. So how does the mentality change, or what's the mentality going into Tuesday's game?
Just have some fun, man. Like I said, it's going to be a hostile environment. I'm looking forward to it. I think Manaea, game 3. So he's been, you know, throwing the ball really well lately, and just try to get on him.
In the 6th, that was a tough spot, 2 outs. Trey gets on. When do you start to just feel everything loosen up a little bit and everybody get going?
Yeah, I mean, like they said over here, man. You know, I thought 1 through 9 we kind of strung some, you know, pretty good at bats going. Thought Sevy threw the ball well as well. So just try to string them along as much as possible, and, you know, continue to pass the baton. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Understanding that you can't get it all in one swing. Understanding it takes the 9 guys, and just got to keep that going.
Were you surprised that it hits that ball? I saw you waving. I mean, you figured Nick was scoring on that with the white ball.
Better scored. I mean, man, I'm glad he did.
Did you think that ball you hit into the corner was going to stay there?
I did.
Were you surprised that Alec was not in the lineup at the start?
I mean, that was a choice they made, so got to respect it.
Bryce Harper, 9 guys. You can't do it all at once. That's so true. You can't do it all at once. Sometimes you got to take it in chunks, and they did just that today. 7-6 Phillies in the bottom of the 9th. By the way, had it gone 10 innings or more, there's no ghost runner. It all reverts to the way it used to be, but not to worry. What I love is what A.J. Pierzynski said twice, and Ruben, we were commenting on it. Nick Castellanos, as good as he is, has got to beat you, not Harper. And it was true. Harper got on via walk, and Castellanos had to do his thing, and he did.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, whenever you have that kind of support, I know Alec Boehm had been the guy earlier in the season, and when he was hot, he was driving in runs and doing his work. But Castellanos has really stepped up. We've talked about it so many times on the show. We've talked about it on broadcast. He works his ass off. I mean, this is a guy who really, really works. And, for him to come through in this situation, I'm not that surprised because he's one of those guys that he's out there working all the time. He's working on his craft, and I really respect that part of his game. And the fact that he came through and the fact that he can now be a guy who can protect Harper. They know that he can come through when it's time to come through. I got to believe that they'll probably try to stay away from Harper anyway. But that said, the fact that he's come through, I think that now the team and he has the confidence that he can do that.
We're going to hear from Nick Castellanos again in just a few moments. We heard him with Taryn Hatcher on the field immediately following the game. He's in the clubhouse, and in just a few seconds, we'll hear from Nick Castellanos. Baseball is a game of imperfection. We know that. What did you think about Christopher Sanchez today, the starter for the Philadelphia
Does it
Phillies?
matter?
I want to know because
I thought he was okay.
Looked like he pitched all right.
I thought he pitched okay. I mean, you know what? His pitch count got up there later on in that ball game as he was going on, but I thought he threw the ball pretty well. He wasn't afraid out there. He didn't. It just seemed like it was another day at the ballpark, and that to me is a compliment in itself. He did not look smaller than the moment. I thought he kind of stood up to the moment, stood up well to the moment. I thought he pitched well. I mean, you give up a home run to Vientos, and I don't know how that ball got out, to be completely honest with you. I know it was a changeup. It was a little bit up in the zone, but Vientos kind of, man, he's powerful because he hit that ball out to right center field. And I'm trying to think, Schwarber had hit a ball in about an inning and a half later. That looked like it was going out, and it died on the warning track.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he must have had a little bit more pop into that ball than I thought. But, I mean, really, not too many mistakes. And take that for what it's worth. And I think he's a legitimate guy to put behind Zach Wheeler.
More on Christopher Sanchez coming up. More on the bullpen. It struggled for the second straight game in the postseason. But let's hear from the hero of today's game, Nick Castellanos, in the clubhouse.
Talk through that at bat and what you're looking to try and see and what you saw out there and be able to come through again with another clutch hit as you've done before.
Just trying to do the best I can to slow the game down, really, to get a pitch in the zone. I dug myself in a hole pretty quick, and then after that it was not making any decisions before I fully recognized the pitch, and I was able to do a good job.
You have done this so many times in this season and throughout your career. In those spots, in those situations, how much do you thrive? I mean, they've talked about this. How much do you thrive in these spots?
It's a lot of fun, man, especially when we're all playing together and, we're running after a common goal as a group in this clubhouse. And it's just unselfish baseball is the most fun baseball you could play.
Nick, when you saw the slider come in, how big did your eyes get, I guess?
I don't know how big they got, but I did like that pitch when I saw it.
Nick, what was your reaction to the Bronx chair earlier, and what adjustment did you make to get back in the
Say that again?
What was your reaction to the Bronx chair, kind of the booing from the fans earlier, and then what adjustment did you make in the game to have better at-bats?
I don't know. I was just kind of frustrated, so I guess I locked in more.
This team has shown so much resolve and did it so again today and been able to move past previous game losses. Just talk about the makeup of the squad and how much do you think some momentum has come back to this team as you head to Game 3?
Well, obviously going into New York, 1-1 is a lot better than 0-2. But now that being said, the series is far from over. They're a really good team over there, and they are playing together. They're playing as a unit, and they've been through adversity before. So, Game 3 and 4 in New York is going to be challenging, but I know all of us are looking forward to it.
Nick, does this game kind of almost encapsulate your season? If you just stick with it, things can turn around?
Sure. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
And then what's that like in that moment you run over and see Liam after
the best.
Postseason walk-off? Yeah.
Of course, because when I'm old and no one cares about me as a baseball player anymore, we're going to be at home and be able to remember and look back at that.
What did he say to you? What did you say to him? Do you remember?
We just both said, let's go. I don't have like a level of how tough it was. I was just happy that I was able to recognize and lay off.
Nick, I think you have 5 walk-offs this season. What is your mindset? Are you trying to calm down? Do you lean into the moment? Like, what is it that you can dial in those moments, it seems?
This might seem odd to say out loud, but just do less.
How would you describe that for you?
Which one was that one? Wonderful.
You seemed relatively displeased, like after you took the pitch. There was an 0-2 pitch in the dirt. The crowd kind of gave you a sarcastic cheer. What was kind of going through your head in that moment?
I had a lot of thoughts run through my head.
Was the approach overall from the team standpoint a lot better than Game 1 in terms of discipline and being able to find the right pitch to swing at and sort of those kind of things?
Say that again?
Those kind of things. Was the approach a lot better for the team in terms of from Game 1?
Well, again, like if you look at the majority of the offense that we have, it's in the later innings, so the sun's behind the batter's eye, so it's easier to pick up spin and recognize pitches. And then we just battled back and forth, honestly.
Do you ever go into it at bat, like feeling that something good is going to happen, like after Bryce's home run there in the 6th, like I'm going to do something good, or your 9th inning at bat, like I'm going to win it here? Any thoughts like that?
Sure. And then usually I chase out of the zone and I have to get rid of him and settle back in.
Okay, so did you have those thoughts today, and did you get rid of them today?
Yes.
And what at bat, the 9th inning?
9th inning, yeah.
So you're going up there saying, I'm going to win this.
Yeah, right before I saw a pitch, yeah, I said that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Nick, when things are going well tonight and the crowd is the way that it is, like after your home run where you and Bryce are motioning to the crowd, what's that feeling like when the crowd's at the top of its emotions?
I can't speak for Bryce. I'm sure that moment feels different and means something different for each person.
Nick, how big was Stott's triple after
Huge.
Beckham answered, and when did you know you were going to score on that?
As soon as he hit it.
As soon as he hit it, Bryce's Stott. As soon as he hit it, I knew that it was scoring. Bingo.